Hey everyone, welcome back. This is part 2 of The Wedding Story.
We didn't have a DJ, because we don't want that. I didn't want people to be able to, choose things and request songs. I didn't want that. I wanted a playlist.
Mm-hmm.
And we built a playlist.
Also, we've been to so many weddings where the DJ just comes in, he doesn't really know what's going on, and he's saying just...
Whatever.
He's just being a jackass.
Yeah.
He thinks he's being charming, but he just sounds like a jackass.
I didn't want our wedding to sound like a bar mitzvah.
Yeah.
That was really... no electric slide. No weird jokes introducing people. I don't need any of that. I don't want any of it. Absolutely not.
So we just set up an ordered playlist on an iPod. And
we had a cutout of a jukebox that was in front of a giraffe. They had a giraffe statue, so the giraffe was our DJ. Mm. And then the music wasn't quite working, and we sent our friend who has sent things into space for NASA. He's a genius, and he couldn't figure out how to fix the iPod.
He builds his own electronics. He builds, effects pedals for his guitars.
Yes.
And we sent him to fix the music, because it was not working. And after 15 minutes, he comes back, he's just like, I don't know what the hell's going on. So I excused myself.
I didn't hear you excuse yourself.
I excused myself.
I don't know that you really did. You might have just walked away.
I was on my ADHD meds, so it might have been a mumble. But my intention was to excuse myself. And I walked over, and I was back within 10 minutes, and it was fixed.
So, from my perspective, what happened? Because we had a sweetheart table. Everybody else was a round table. We had a sweetheart table. It was just us. And yet somehow, everyone could look at this table, see that it's just me at the table, and that there's no Rob next to me, and yet they're all clinking their fucking glasses. The universal kiss your partner. Clink, clink, clink. Who was I supposed to kiss? What was I supposed to do? And thankfully, two of our friends noticed, and they pretended to make out passionately.
In front of the sweetheart table.
Also in front of your homophobic grandfather.
They were both men.
Which was fantastic.
Not gay men, but malleable.
Well, one of them not straight entirely.
Well, yeah.
The other one is just a theater kid.
Yeah.
But then our other friend came over and slapped one of them as though he was a scorned lover, and it was really dramatic and wonderful.
Yeah.
And your grandfather looked so horrified, and that was really the best wedding gift we received. And then you showed up, and that was lovely.
And then I did kiss you.
Yes.
Because it was never about not kissing you, and the music was working. We rickrolled people.
We did.
There was some song of this. I think
it was
a
Daft Punk.
The Daft Punk Feral song that was big at the time.
Played part of it.
We knew it was a song that would get people on the dance floor. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. We knew we had no interest in hearing the whole thing, so we had the first 10 seconds, and then I edited in a record scratch, and then I played Rick Astley's "Never Gonna Give You Up,"
and everybody groaned, but they kept dancing. It didn't stop them.
Yeah, everyone danced to it. They were already on the dance floor, and I laughed.
It was very good.
It was great.
It was very good. Our bathroom had a joke in it. The 3 shells.
We had a little postcard in the bathroom saying, you don't know how to use the 3 seashells from Demolition Man.
Yeah. And we called our dance floor the...
Thunderdome.
Thunderdome. Because there's 2 people enter and a married couple leaves.
Yes.
Every single part was themed.
So,
yes.
My best friend was my best man. And his wedding was 2 weeks later?
Something like that. It was very soon after.
It was within the month we both had our weddings.
Yeah.
And we had agreed, because we don't particularly enjoy public speaking. We had agreed.
You had agreed.
We had an agreement, a gentleman's agreement between friends that neither one of us had to do a best man speech. Because there's whole, you have to be funny, but you can't say too much because your family's there. It's this whole, it's this whole awkward thing. Right. Where you have to you're supposed to be a little racy, but also your grandparents are there, and neither one of us wanted to toe that line, so we're just we just won't have speeches. But we did have a portion right after we announced our undying love for each other, where I think it was Danny asked if anyone had any kind words for the bride and groom, because we weren't doing speeches.
Open mic, and it was after everyone already had a lot of alcohol in them.
And several people came up and said things. And so my best friends felt pressured to give a speech. So he did, where he said that I was the kind of guy who would always help you move. And I'm just like, do not tell people that.
Do not announce it.
I'm aware that's the kind of person I am, but I like that only 3 people know that. I'm going to be busy on Saturdays now, man.
For the rest of
people
your life.
People are going to be like, can you rent a truck? I don't like helping people move, but I will if necessary. So he gave us a whole speech, and it was like, so yeah, if you're moving, call Rob. We'll always help you. It's very, very nice and sweet, but I'm just like, oh, now I gotta give you a speech.
Yeah, you gotta give a speech. And, my oldest friend who I've known since kindergarten had a speech, and a friend from college made a speech, and he got all teary-eyed, and then my dad made a speech, and it was not nice. He was smiling. But at one point, he said that I'm tough, and that's the kind of thing where when a father calls his daughter tough, I feel like half the audience goes, oh, that's sweet, and the other half goes, oh, I know what that means.
Men go, oh, she's a survivor, and women go, he just called her a bitch.
Right. Right. And the whole thing was like, oh, Rob's so great. Oh, Rob, you're just such a wonderful... She is tough. She is... Whoa. But you're great. The whole speech was
you've never been tough to me, so maybe Glenn was doing something wrong. That's all I'm going to say.
The whole speech was my dad talking about how much he adores you, and you poor man, that you are with me. Like, he loves me. I know he loves me, but that speech was unnecessarily targeted.
He might have been trying to, be a little bit like, ha-ha, and it just didn't come across.
It did not come across.
Which is especially funny, considering his career is public speaking. It's public singing, so if anyone should be able to nail the tone, it's a guy who that's his job.
And again, he's dressed as Elvis. He's saying this.
I just come to weddings.
Mom was in a poodle skirt. Your mom was very fancy. She was in, furs.
My mom did a Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis thing.
Mm-hmm. And my favorite photo was her talking to our friend who had a mohawk. And she was totally punked out. She had put on the
mohawk for the wedding.
She was totally punked out. And it was just such a good picture of the two of them just chatting. Your cousins. You've got these, gorgeous supermodel-looking cousins. And they all rented actual dresses from the 50s and 60s and got their makeup professionally done as zombies that were really grotesque.
Yeah, they made my cousins made a whole day of it.
Yeah.
Like a whole bridesmaid outing but Halloween, which I love that our wedding influenced them to do that.
Yeah. And your sister was happy. Everybody really got into it. It made me very happy. And I love that both sides heard what the theme was going to be and said, how did they let you do this?
We were telling people the theme, and they're just they're letting you do that.
Right. Right, exactly. But we both got that from both our sides. It was just, how...
Your dad was oh, he's letting you do that? I'm just well, because originally I'm just I was in the wedding box. This is what I really love about you, is that, when I get, the things I don't question, you get me outside of that. Because I was just I guess we could do a medieval theme because we like D&D. We can do something that's a little off the beaten path, but what people expect for a wedding. And you're just why don't we just have a post-apocalyptic party?
Yeah.
And I think I just stared at you for a minute and said, I love you so much. The thing is past girlfriends and something. If I had mentioned wanting something like that, I'd just be it's just going to be a no. And I had why would you think that?
No, I've learned that you have a specific kind of tone for where you want something to be more interesting, but you think you're supposed to nerf yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
And you were doing that, and it's no, you want more than that, and we can have more than that because I'm the Empress.
And we did.
Empress and co-Empress.
It was amazing. Was they I don't understand how people get drunk at their weddings, because we were busy the whole day. I think I had 3 beers the entire time.
Oh god, all you wanted was a BLtini.
One of the things we got for appetizers were little bacon wrapped tomatoes with some balsamic in it, and they called them BLtinis. Mm-hmm. And they were about to end appetizers, and I grabbed my best man, and I was I paid for 200 BLtinis. I'm going to eat one. You get me a BLtini. I don't care what it takes.
He got it.
He did.
Yeah, no, he was on top of it. Oh, okay, so we had a, sometimes they'll have a book where you can write little notes in for the bride and groom.
Yeah.
And we had little notes with pens, and we had a bomb.
We had a papier-mâché bomb.
Yeah, And you were supposed to write on the notes and then stuff the note into the bomb, and then we'd open up the bomb later. And
at our 1 year anniversary, we opened up the bomb and we read all the marriage advice.
And it's amazing because you can tell when people started really drinking.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as things go on, things get more and more unhinged. So it starts as, like, never go to bed angry, and make sure to still go on dates, and all these really nice, like, marriage things. And then it becomes, like, fuck table 12, table 14 rules. And we realized there was, like, a gang war between table 12 and table 14 specifically.
There were a couple of dirty notes in there, too.
Yeah, they got very sexual. And those were signed.
Don't forget to beep the beep.
And those were signed. Those were all like my aunt. Like my elderly aunt.
They weren't who you expected them to be.
Yeah, it was like, what? Why? I mean, they're happily married. In their defense, they are very happily married. So, like, I'll listen.
Everyone had a lot of fun.
Everyone had a lot of fun.
So I think we can get them back for the 10-year.
Absolutely. Oh, actually, as much as I did love just everything anyway, and a lot of, like, our gifts that we got made me very happy. It was your best man who got me the shark. The stuffed shark.
Well, he was on our registry. We had a registry that was full of, like, there was a really nice bowl that was like $60, and we're like, we're never spending $60 on a bowl, throw it on the registry.
Yeah, most of it was like house stuff, because we'd also got the house at the same time. That can be a separate story time.
We're supposed to get the house in August. We got the house the week before the wedding. Whole other story.
We needed to fill the house with things. And so while we were listing stuff, I realized there was an option for a really large stuffed shark.
Yeah.
And I didn't expect anyone to, but he did. Pleased. I was pleased.
He's been in several photos since.
Yeah, no, we had a good time.
I'm very glad I married you.
I'm glad I married you too. Our cake.
Cake. Tell them about the cake.
Yeah, so I said we went to a special lady. She had 2 really big dogs.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the dogs. And we wanted sort of a topsy-turvy cake, and we said our colors are black and, like, lime green.
We said we wanted it to look radioactive.
Yeah. And she still put flowers on it.
I don't think she understood the post-apocalypse, but we also said we're going to give you creative control.
But it was very pretty.
It is. It's very pretty.
So, like, okay.
And she did really steep angles, too.
She did.
Typical topsy-turvy cake is, like, 5-10 degrees. She went, like, 30 degrees.
Yeah. No, it was really neat looking. And I was very happy with it. And the top tier of the cake wound up, like, my favorite flavored cake ever. Because it was the Oreos and cream and strawberry.
It was a strawberry cake with the Oreos and cream filling, and I've made that for you for several anniversaries.
Yeah. But it was very much a matter of principle that I ate every single other thing at the wedding. Because I was coming back from being super, super underweight, very deeply, deeply sick. Almost died. So, by the time we got to the wedding, and I had gained a lot of weight because you'd been feeding me, and I wanted to be able to eat everything there.
That is one thing. A lot of people lose weight for the wedding, but I had just learned to cook with butter. We both went into the wedding a little bit heavier. We were also dealing with the stress of, like, buying a house, moving. I'm skinnier than we're both skinnier than we were at the wedding now.
Yeah. It was a good wedding, and people still talk about it to this day.
It's a good marriage.
It's a good marriage, and we're gonna have another one. Well, we're same marriage. Same marriage.
Man, you flubbed that.
We're gonna have another party in honor of our marriage on our 10th anniversary.
Yeah, with your second husband, apparently. Rock on.
Rock on.